Provo Beast here doing another install today. Today we're doing a 2009 F250 Super Duty truck, Ford. We're doing a sub install. Now fortunately with this vehicle, already has an aftermarket radio, so we don't have to do a line out converter or anything to a factory radio. The RCAs for our amplifier will just plug straight in. So today we have this amp kit. I'll post a link for this unboxing and more info on it. I have a video for it, so I'll let you see that. Doing this Rockford Fosgate 10-inch sub and this older Rockford Fosgate amp. So first thing we're going to do with our amp kit here, with the power wire, here's our battery. We got to run power from the battery to the amp inside of the cabin of the truck. Okay, so we ended up going through there just because that drops right down through the kick panel. I put these anchor mounts that I'll attach the wire to so it stays well off the engine. And then I just follow the factory loom all the way over for the power wire and go right there to the battery. Now when I put in the fuse and fuse holder, probably mount it down here. As you can see, it comes out right there. Now, as I continue this wire, I'm just going to tuck up underneath this kick panel all the way to the back. And this amp will just fit up underneath the seat here. And I'm going to essentially run the wire all the way to the amp itself. Okay, so I ran the wire up underneath. Whether you have carpet or padding here, comes out here and it'll go right to the positive on the amp here. The cable is right here, so make sure I have the length I want. It goes right up underneath, up the kick panel. And so I can put this back together. Let me go and do the ground before I do so. Alright, then underneath the hood, everything's zip tied super clean all the way across the top of the engine. And here's the fuse that I put in. And then, not quite yet, but I'm going to go to that stud. Looks like it used to be something there. I'll take that ring terminal out and replace it with that one. Next portion here is we're going to go ahead and do the ground. And I'll show you how that's done. Alright. So there's our ground. See, I cleaned the pin off really well with the wire brush. I just gonna hook right onto my drill bit and put 3 good self-tapper screws in there. And around the table, there's the ground. So power and ground are good to go. Next step here is the RCA and the remote turn-on wire, which we're gonna get all taped together and ran on the opposite side of the truck as much as we can away from the power wire to reduce any engine noise or feedback within the speaker itself. Okay, so I taped the remote wire and the RCAs about every foot or so all the way down. I'm going to start routing them from the amp area across to the other side up towards the dash. Alright, so and then I ran the RCAs just up underneath. Fortunately, when you take the panel off the other side, you have enough slack where you can lift the carpet and just fish it up underneath so it looks nice and clean, no more cables. Once everything's hooked up here, we'll zip tie it. It'll look super nice. Alright, we're on this side as it comes out here. Same thing. Run it up along here. We'll go up underneath the dash and then remove the dash so we can fish the RCAs and remote turn on wire towards the radio. Okay, so we got our RCAs and remote turn on wire to this point. Before we plan how to run them up to the stereo cavity, we gotta pop the stereo out. Now as you can see here, I've already kind of started. But basically, this bottom panel and the cigarette lighter side bottom panel pops out and exposes 2 7mm bolts. Remove those, and with the panel popping tool and a little bit of force, the whole panel will come free. Just like so. You don't have to take it all out just because it gives us access to the stereo. Pull out those 4 7mm bolts, and that'll give us access to behind the radio, and then we'll start running the RCAs up to behind the radio dash. Okay, so after remove those 4 7mm, I just pull the stereo out and flip it around. From the RCAs there, I actually just tucked it underneath the padding. to the center point about right there. Then using a hanger, I fished it up behind this panel. As you can see there, from down below. And then from here, we'll route it up right up behind the stereo. The RCAs plug into our sub output. And then this remote turn on wire plugs into this blue white wire. And we'll just cut it, strip it, and then use a butt connector and connect it. All right, got everything hooked up here. Remote's hooked on. The RCAs are good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and reassemble the dash. Okay, dash is all back together. Good to go. Let's go ahead and hook up the amp. All right, amp is all hooked up. RCA is all plugged in. Power and ground remote's all good to go. And I got my speaker wire coming out here. And for now, this customer is just going to go ahead and set the sub and box on the seat until I figure something else out. But at least for this point, it's all hooked up. So this will pull down. That will plug right into that Rockford Fosgate speaker and box. All right, since the amp's all good to go, I went ahead and hooked up positive to the battery. And it just kind of folds away. Boot back on there. So we're down underneath the hood. It's time for a test. If you have any questions about this install, be sure to post a comment below. Thanks for watching.